What up, y'all? It's the anime player, your boy Cass playing the game, Christian motherfucking game. Welcome back to some Danganronpa case. So last time, we were starting the case of Danganronpa. Did I talk to everyone? About time to show my serious side. Testify, so I inflict my true power for the sake of our two fallen comrades. Said that's for the incident. Yeah, I remember that.
Jeez.
I figured that you actually don't rely on we know me all that much. It's just nice to think he'll make us even more stupid. Maybe we should shut her up for good.
Hey.
Color is no time to waste. For example, we don't move forward then this all at once. So my suspects are her, Sonia, never mind. Hey, go, it's my fault after all.
Well?
Then I was learning the truth. Learn the truth behind this murder most foul. Let us proceed. Or, these guys, Sweeky. Well, I didn't help at all. I couldn't even figure out this tiny death. Sorry, I'm so stupid piece of trash. Or him. One of them.
This is bad.
Because he was the one that made the radio. Hey, what people call me just now? Don't tell me the calls already. To get sharp, I will come and focus on class chart right now. I know, but alright, let's do this. So you guys can be surprised again. Roar. We set out to after ascending towards the grassy Mountain Rock. That's when I noticed it. What? Notice our line just keep getting smaller and smaller. But I can't turn back now. If I turn back, I won't be able to press forward. And when everyone was inside Monokuma Rock, good thing I don't have COVID anymore, guys. Better. Did I ever begin? In its deep descent edges. Is that everyone? What the heck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. I only have 9? That's crazy. No one said a word. We're still trying to figure out what to say to each other. Everyone descended deeper and deeper. When it descended too far, I finally stepped. Mukuro Ukusabe, look out for her, the 16th student. Living somewhere here. The elevator door opens so almost tantalizing, and so light poured throughout from the other side, air of the boundaries of the darkness. And I walked into that place. Now my feels pretty Tuesday. But two people got killed at the same time, and Nakamura's not here either.
Hey!
Yeah, is Nakamura really not participating? If he's alive, you should invite him.
No!
Why bother?
Let's...
What?
Well now.
Now then, let's begin.
Yahoo!
Begin the long way class trial. Please enjoy to your heart's content. So, the current to the third class trial was about to open. Ruki Muda, the ultimate musician. She was really loud, but she was the mood maker for our group. True, when I was with her, all my pain and suffering just seemed to melt away. He was just enjoy the ultimate tradition dancer. About that, my phone kept buzzing and turned it off. So, Hiyoko Sayoji, the ultimate tradition dancer. Just from looking at her adorable feet, you never know she's selfish and foul-mouthed. But she was trying to change herself. She was desperately trying to come to terms with my hero's death. The person who killed those two is among us. They definitely can't believe it. The red ones are the one who died. But whether I believe it or not is irrelevant. I don't know if he's dead too. To figure out the truth, I won't be able to escape from the hell. So I must find out no matter the cost. So this guy sort of a nice, like, pointy little static haircut. For his sake. For a friend's sake. What do you mean? It happens every time, but I'll be able to keep up myself. But I'm more find out no matter the cost, for sake, for a friend's sake. Yeah, me and Shot can find a way out here. Whoa. Hydra Man, what's her name? Ayuka. Look at right next to him. They have the same hairstyle up. See that little point is crooked. For Buki and Hyoi's sake. Until the curtain to the third class trial is about to open. This is life-threatening trial blowing with hope and despair has begun. You're safe. Alright, finish preparations, do this. Class charts are all rise.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, I'll punish everyone beside you. Well, who cares about this boring explanation? Let's get on with it already.
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out.
We already know what happened.
You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
So it's your fault for getting sick.
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either.
Yeah, it kind of has the same hairstyle as, what's his name, Hajime, the little antenna popping on their head up.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
Empty head? What's wrong with that? Listen up. The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
True.
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial of those who can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
Gotcha, baby girl.
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 in the motel team were myself, Gunjan, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms. We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Mikan rest in the on-call room since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was... a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing!
Well, you been now.
It's such a heart-pounding story.
And then what did you do,
in 5
Hajime?
seconds. Well, don't talk me on top of it. As soon as I saw that happening, I wouldn't have waited till the screen went back. I would rush in there in like 1.2 seconds, bro. Well, actually make it 5.2 seconds. Yeah, 1.2. This makes sense. But you know what I'm saying. Amazing, that's a secret.
I tried to stop them, of course.
Too late.
I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded. The music venue.
Yeah. You should have been there as soon as you saw the video when you saw the ladder and the rope.
But it was too late.
Harry, too slow.
By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue. And unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought. But the only person who came with me was Chiaki.
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Fuyuhiko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone, so I sprinted.
My bad, y'all.
Get out of the hospital. Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
True.
Various ways?
Wait, what? Hold up, pause.
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
Right?
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag. So I immediately led them to the music venue.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the four of us broke down the door. And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hyoko's.
Yeah, maybe Ibuki killed Hyoki and then killed herself, but that doesn't make sense because when we got there, Ibuki was dead, but Hiyori wasn't there. There was another accomplice. Yeah, maybe, what's it called? Maybe they were whoever the accomplice is, they told Ibuki to kill herself, and to kill Hiyori, and then kill herself. So they killed Hiyori, and that person was hiding in the closet with Hiyori's body, and then Ibuki and Hajime came in, and then he left. They came out of the closet and put Hiyori's body up there.
And not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
Yeah.
That's when we heard the body
That means that there were two murders.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
Yep.
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true?
Wait, what? What do you mean? Huh?
Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now. And the story I just heard is clearly suspicious.
Well.
Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video, and the first one to discover Ibuki's body, then you could be lying as much as you want right now, right?
I'm not, though.
Lie? Why would I lie? Obviously. So you could make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
Yeah, I'll never kill someone. Never kill anyone so far.
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it.
How?
Come on, try to prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer.
Just ask because you said everything was kind of confused and make matters worse. Damn, I shouldn't have experienced I'm in trouble now thanks to that.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Right?
Well, obviously, because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
No, what?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault.
No, Scripture, find them breakthrough.
Hajime's testimony.
Hajime's testimony is a lie, and the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that possibility.
You saw her hanging.
After all, Hajime is the only witness.
Damn it.
Hajime's testimony.
Hajime's and the fact that he...
That would also... I don't think I can... After all...
Why would Hajime...
Well, obviously...
Did Hajime kill...
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie.
Calm myself.
That would also be a lie. I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
Well,
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
I'm not the killer. I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
Bro.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that.
Bro.
Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time.
True. I mean, there's no way I'll be able to imitate the movie. Bro.
Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie,
Right?
could commit murders that imitated it.
I'm telling y'all that.
Or did anyone tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one did, right?
Hold on a sec. You're the one who brought this up in the first place.
Right?
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your
Crazy.
witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up.
For what?
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Right?
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important. Especially since this isn't a game.
What a waste of time. Well, I knew it would turn out like this anyway.
Now then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments.
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it! Ibuki committed suicide!
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
Right.
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide. Ain't possible, huh?
Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
The killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to
Well,
leave
they
either.
didn't leave.
Yeah,
They waited
you're
till
absolutely
we all
right.
came in, joined in.
Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside. If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two! Sonia and Kazuichi!
Me too?
Yeah.
What the hell? Why is it gonna be us?
The others all have alibis. Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Nekomaru.
Well, he's in the hospital. What cool with yeah.
Hey, why are you talking like, huh?
kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
Please stop making bad jokes.
Plus, imitating Nekomaro.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
True.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall! Is this his professional skill?
Is that really it? Got it.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they look like they had just rushed over. I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
Question mark confess to actually exist without more evidence.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside.
There you go.
No, that's wrong!
No, that's wrong. Counter.
Hold on a second. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
From the outside?
Maybe.
There's a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
Semi-transparent glob? Like rubber, maybe?
What's up, all this new glow is probably gum. Oh, really? Oh, I've seen gum to the castle doors. It really doesn't make any sense. Damn it. Is that a liquid or something? That's what she said. Okay, I was about to go.
I see!
I see.
That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
Glue?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, she tasted it.
It had a firm, gel-like chewiness. And I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth.
Bro, you're wild for
Based
that.
on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
Right?
That glue was
Proud
only
for that.
applied
I
to the
love her
areas
though.
where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, it must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly.
The glue was applied to areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gas of one closed door, they might see the venue door from the outside. And thanks to that, while blue was left, the door was stuck. Yep, fits perfectly.
But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know? That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so?
Yeah.
It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Yeah, they must be fast.
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Kyoko's body was there too, right? But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Kyoko was actually killed earlier.
Yeah, but the body was hidden.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
That scrap
there's
of
that.
paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right. But just what is this scrap anyway?
Came from the hospital, right? You can tell them as a ninja. I should be able to get what it is. Wallpaper. Wallpaper.
I got it!
Complete.
Scrap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room? In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't it? If so...
You're right. You overlay the
wasn't there.
scrap that was caught on the lighting, tear in the wallpaper. See? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body disappearing?
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that.
What's wrong with that?
But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
Let's go back and we just put the water. I found the storage room. Connects to the center of Hyoko's body. Picture the document. Clear. Oh, he's thinking. Oh. See controllers again. Oh. Oh, damn it. The hell? There we go. Weird. It's a speed thing. Oh, not my. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it in time. Here's one. No. Go. I failed. And game over. No. Let's do this. Oh. It's gonna be tricky. Cover the pillar. I bet.
It's all coming together. Got it. Kyoko's body was hidden before we found her.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Kyoko's body was already there. However, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, it made it look big with the wallpaper.
It makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar, so using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music video.
But the killer made a mistake.
They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper. And because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
Killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on them.
True.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
But the crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hiyoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
I don't eat mothballs. I just enjoy looking at them. I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie.
Yeah.
Not just that, but Hiyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
For the lions look like heroes,
It's as
right?
if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
Looks like the killing
I
roller.
see! The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
Then, Hiyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean?
Didn't finish it from the murder news. So kill one who was actually killed. Before Ibuki, that line of reasoning, the kitchen Ibuki's body suggests that as well. What do you mean?
If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I
chill.
change my
Try not
mind.
to talk to my girl like that.
What a jerk!
Right.
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
Damn.
Even bigger jerk? Impossible!
She just roasted him.
Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's
Right.
wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
Right?
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was killed. How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Bro, you're about to have to deal with me if you keep talking to her like that.
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
Bro, step outside.
You're one to talk.
Anyway, let's continue. Just gonna talk in circles. I think we got to prepare Goose out of the heel quick kill.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence.
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
Were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Maybe her feet were on the floor. But she was like sitting or something. So instead, there'd be a mark on her ass.
Weak, I say! It doesn't even pierce my heart!
Jackie said we was just saying he was killed, but very true.
I am telling you to present your evidence!
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
No, get out of my way! There we go.
I agree with that.
I almost missed it.
Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. They will think blood.
Just when you said, we stepped on something. That's something about there was faint blood stains on the soles of her slipper.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
It is her theory.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood!
Yeah, Hiyoko's that woman.
Hyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood,
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
So Ibuki killed her, right?
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye!
Bruh.
Is that it? A
Killer?
shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? It's a good line. But are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know. You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest. You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about 1 minute. See a nice nightmare?
Damn it!
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember that there was no... You can't step on blood that was... Just about 1 minute. See a nice nightmare?
What was that percent?
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember... There was... You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about... See a nice nightmare? You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no... You can't step on blood that was never... Just a... Did you see a nice nightmare? You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to... Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just did you see a nice nightmare? You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet... Try to remember the... There was no blood on the floor.
Allow me to cut through those words.
That was fast. Usually those two.
Sorry. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Yeah.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right? Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Right.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Nikon, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikan's autopsy?
That's right!
True.
I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file, just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears
we do
that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then. But regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Right.
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a second. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
You always want to ask me something.
Didn't something like this happen last time too?
Yep.
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is.
So they killed themselves. Yeah. Oh yeah, they said the killer will be themselves. Yeah, what happened with Sakura?
Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Nagito? What do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death. I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
True.
That's totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
She was gullible. The gullible
But
thing
if
too.
Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive! When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
Just like the first game. Yeah, with Hifumi. That's what she could have been.
She hanged herself.
Yeah.
Remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
And
Yeah.
if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging.
Yeah.
Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
True.
I see.
Alright, never
So
mind.
that means there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Huh?
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right?
Yep.
Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Maybe. Or told her since she was killable.
Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
Nope, I don't think so.
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it has some kind of sweet recording feature.
Huh? Why is he the killer? Why do you feel kind of offended?
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually right?
Yep.
What time did Hajime see that video?
Like before
I
7.
saw it at the hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement.
Yeah.
And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Yep.
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
Well,
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
More of what we happened before and during the morning announcement. She doesn't have an alibi for that time.
We can exclude the sick people like me.
And what about the others?
Right before the morning
Sonia and
announcement,
this
I was
guy.
totally sleeping in my motel.
I think everyone...
So everyone who stayed at the... What about you guys? I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
That's nice, funny.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then...
No, that's wrong!
No, it's wrong. Counter.
Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Mikan and I both have alibis.
You two have alibis?
Yeah, we're together.
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikan and I were actually together for a while.
Oh, what? Hey, chill, Jackie, if you're mad.
We even woke up together that morning.
Bro, don't tell them that.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
Chill.
I accidentally fell asleep under the punching.
Bro. Oh, she's jealous.
Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward.
So, like, too much info.
So we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
Yep.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
Bro, Chiagi's so smart, I swear. Chiagi's like, falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both...
The killer tried to falsify the murder sequence. Because, like, tried to actually... This was very better. Before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
Before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
What do you mean? Huh?
Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process. Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Probably not.
Are you saying there was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much. That's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
Like what? You have a different reason. That's the case. We should have killed a trap. The trap set by one of us. So then, what kind of trap is it? Break time? Hello there, but I'm in the mothball. Shorty told me to. I don't care. I need some more. There's some mothballs. Here's some chance time. Oh, what's that? When then Monopoly appeal time starts. Now the Monopoly's appeal time starts now. Appeal time. Your kind-hearted big brother didn't give you the chance to reclaim your honor. Good luck, soldier, who treat you like a red-headed stepchild who's the boss. That's 100% your fault. While you're whining, your time's already running out, so please make your appeal simple. About 30,000 words or so. Too long, it'll be a boring appeal. Turn your appeals to that, but there might be merchant opportunities heading your way. Usami, imagine what we're doing with Usami, an itty-bitty girl who's sweet like milk. Jesus. So I turn a rope. That's all. A search and control while the system was supposed to be the best.
What a disappointment!
What are you talking about? I have no idea whatsoever. What about you, Manami? Wait, Manami? I did the first one, so... Back.
I'm Money! Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation. Seriously, he's like the king of unreasonableness. Why did it turn out like this? We were supposed to have a fun, friendly school trip, but it turned out all bloody instead.
Yep.
No! This definitely cannot be allowed. That's why I want you to remember this.